Budget season in lots of trusts involves central finance and school leaders, and between them you build up the numbers. But the problem is the budget rows that fall through that gap. So common ones that we see are premises costs that maybe no one's formally responsible for, or contracts that are auto-renewing without making finance aware, or it could be catering arrangements that changed at school level but we haven't updated them centrally. Software renewals might become more expensive than last time, or maybe we've got an IT equipment refresh program that exists in someone's head but not formally in the budget. So these aren't obscure budget items. They're often significant commitments, and they can get missed not because people have been careless, but because the information isn't sitting in one place. So in many trusts, whilst the budget process is built around schools and central teams, operational costs don't always fit neatly into that review. So you might have a contract spreadsheet somewhere else and a premises budget breakdown that we're storing off system, and utility costs that are tracked in separate spreadsheets. But when that information is stored separately, it's easy for those things to slip through, especially costs that are creeping up gradually with inflation and going unnoticed until they're already a problem. Working in a central finance team, I would see things like a software license that was maybe due for renewal, but it was at a higher price, or a contract that had been renegotiated at school level and then finance weren't aware of that for the budget. So one of the most practical things you can do before you sign off your budget is to go back to your current year actuals and compare them against what you'd budgeted. So was there anything that came in this year that maybe wasn't in the plan? Because if that happened this year, there's a good chance that might happen again. And actually, you've got that opportunity to get ahead of it now rather than reacting to it later. Beyond that, closing those blind spots means having conversations with a wider group of people than just finance and school leaders. And who the right people are will vary depending on, how your trust is structured and how your responsibilities are split. But the point is that whoever holds that knowledge about the premises, the contracts, the shared services, IT, all need to be part of the budget conversation. So before you finalise, it's worth running a deliberate review of anything that might sit outside your current process, and maybe even name an owner for each of those areas and confirm that every line is accounted for. So it doesn't need to be a long process, but it needs to happen before sign off. And the trusts that we see do this well find fewer surprises during the year because those conversations have already happened and the budget already reflects them.